What is up, y'all? Your boy South Shiraz. I'm back. And I'm about to hit practice mode. You saw the title of the video. I wanted to talk to y'all about my experience at Texas Showdown 2018. I attended a major event. I'm pretty sure Texas Showdown is like a major event, right? Not a super major event, I guess, from what I was hearing people saying, because there weren't really any Korean players there, but the top American players were pretty much there. All the people that you can imagine seeing on like streams and stuff, all the known guys, from the commentators to the players, were there. So I got to see these people. I was right next to some of them. I mean, Valle, because I entered in Street Fighter 5 and in Tekken 7. But of course, my main game that I expected to do well in was Tekken 7. But yeah, Valle was there. He was actually running the event. I don't know how he, I know he started a lot in the California scene and runs Wednesday night fights and all that. But, he was running the Texas Showdown. Pretty much running the camera on the headset, communicating with people on what to do, and kind of coordinating things. But anyway, he was there. K-Brad, Punk, Smug, had a few Asian players there, but not anybody that I recognized. That girl was there from California, the Asian girl who was on that E-League show with Low Tier Guide on TBS recently, and that I never watched, but I wanted to watch. I haven't caught it yet. I'm gonna watch it later. She was there. Snake Eyes. Pretty much all the top Street Fighter guys from America were there. On the Tekken side, Shadow was there. You watched the stream. I mean, all the main people was there. I don't really follow a lot of the major players on the Tekken side like that. I just know the Street Fighter players from watching Cross Counter TV. That's how I know a lot of their names, and that's the only way I know them. I was a fan of watching that until Mike Ross left. Yipes was there commentating. You see the people. All you gotta do is watch the stream. If you care about the fighting game community, I'm pretty sure you saw the stream, or we'll see it eventually. They were all there. Now me, I didn't really have any interest in really meeting them, like talking to them. But it was cool to see them in person and actually, see how they are in real life. Fighting game player celebrities, quote unquote. The only people I would say that I was like kind of like, oh man, if I would say I was wanting to meet anybody, it would be trying to make sure y'all can hear me talking because I'm using this bootleg headset right now. The only people I would say that if I would want to introduce myself to anybody and kind of meet them would probably be Yipes, because he's one of my favorite commentators. He gets it hype, and he seemed like a cool dude. I was sitting right next to him while he was commentating Street Fighter during the pools, and I was right there next to him. And not Manat, Mena RD from the Dominican Republic. I would kind of want to meet him just because he a young dude, and he won the event. I saw the results later, and I saw what happened to him recently with the racial stuff, and that wasn't cool. So if anything, I would have liked to at least tell him, hey man, keep doing what you're doing, because I respect what you're doing. And he had his squad there. They was getting hype, shouting for him. But yeah, Yipes and Mena RD I hope I'm saying his name right, because like I said, I don't really follow these people like that. I mean, I respect them, but I don't really follow them. Probably would have liked to meet Smug, you know, say a little what's up to him, but I didn't. And I'm going blank. What's his? Valle. How could I go blank on Valle? You know, I was right next to Valle a couple times. He was running around the event. I probably would have just said what's up to him, but I didn't really want to bother anybody. You know, I wouldn't ever really meet people. I was there to take in the experience and say, you know, got my first real tournament experience under my belt. So now that that's out of the way, let's talk about what happened. First of all, Houston is about 4 hours away from where I live. So on the way down there, I blew a flat tire. I was about 2 hours into the drive in a little middle of nowhere town, and I blew out. And that's my fault, because I was debating on renting a car because I knew my tires were looking rough. I was like, man, I might be pushing my luck driving down to Houston on these tires, and I needed new tires anyway. But I was like, I'll be fine. Just a little 4 hour drive. Another lesson, I'm too old to not know better. Listen to your gut. My gut told me to either rent a car or go ahead on and buy tires. So I was down there and I blew a flat. I was like, oh my God, I'm stranded. I'm like 2 hours away from home. I'm not even gonna make it to the tournament. I mean, I keep roadside assistance on my insurance, thank God. And I almost canceled it when it was time to renew, like last month. I almost canceled my roadside assistance because I was mad my insurance price went up, my insurance rate. But I kept it, thank God. So the tow truck got there pretty quick. This is like another reason I was gonna cancel my roadside. It's the reason behind it too, besides the price, was the last time I used it, it was a bad experience. It took the guy like 2 hours to get to me. Something had went out on my car and I was stranded in a Dairy Queen parking lot, and I had to sit in my car and wait, and it was late at night. But he got there and towed me home. And I almost canceled it because of that experience, but I kept it. And this time the guy got there quick. It took him about 20 minutes to get there, which is good because luckily I broke down in a small town. It was a small town, but they did have a tire shop. And by the time they closed at 5:30, by the time the guy got there to me to help me change my tire, just got a message on PSN. I respond to it later. By the time I got there, by the time he got there, it was about 4:30, and the tire shop was still like 5 miles away. So I made it to the tire shop at about 5 o'clock, and they closed at 5:30. And thankfully he had tires in stock, so I had to buy all new tires. That cost me it cost me like $450. So that was an unplanned expense on the trip. And you know, the hotel, I stayed at the Hilton, which is right where the event was held, so it was like right downstairs. You know, the hotel wasn't cheap either, so this trip ended up costing me quite a bit of money, a little bit more than I planned on spending, but you know, it was worth it. I mean, the hotel was nice, and it's in a good spot in Houston. I was right in kind of like the Galleria area, and if you don't know about the Galleria, that mall is like huger than my home city. That mall is even bigger than I remember it being. The last time I was in Houston was in 1995. I was like just about to start high school, I think. So I think I was just turning 13, and we went to Houston to go to Six Flags Astro World, which doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, we went to Astro World that year. That was the one and only time I had been to Houston before this. And I remember the Galleria being huge. I mean, it's so big. They got like every store you can think of, and they even have an ice skating rink inside the mall. People were in there skating. So anyway, they've added to it since then, of course. It's huge. I got lost in the mall trying to find McDonald's. But that's not important. Let's get back to the tournament. Let me talk about what happened. So the first day was Street Fighter pools. And I didn't expect to really do anything in Street Fighter, so I didn't care what happened with that game. I brought my garbage Ryu against this guy. I can't remember what his name was, but I think he was like he's kind of a known player. I think he was playing Balrog, and of course I wasn't prepared. I didn't prepare at all. I didn't even touch Street Fighter for like the whole month before the tournament. I didn't give a damn. But I wanted to play. I wanted to be able to do something besides just Tekken. And I'm even more trash at the other fighting games that were there. You know, I wish they would have ran Mortal Kombat or something like that, so I could play something else too. But they didn't this year. And it was a little strange. I got to see how that works in pools and everything. So, and I don't even know if it went right because I played the dude like one match, and he beat me. If I remember right, I'm pretty sure it was one match. I don't think we played 2 matches, but I might need to go back and look. But I think we just played 1 match, and that was it. He beat me 1 time, and I was out of winners because you start in winners regardless. This is how it goes. You start in winners, and if you win in winners, you automatically you good. You just move on to the next round. That's where you want to be. So we played like 1 match, and that was it. And I don't know if that was right because I think he was supposed to play 2 matches, but I don't know for sure. So that's the first tip I'll give anybody who's thinking about going to a tournament. Know the rules, because nobody's really going to tell you the rules 9 times out of 10, because everybody is just trying to win. The guy was nervous. Actually, he was nervous. I didn't really have. I mean, I was a little nervous, but I wasn't like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So I handled my nerves better than a lot of people did at the tournament. A lot of people were nervous. You're gonna be nervous, and it was my first time. So yeah, I lost that match at whatever. I was expecting to lose. After that, I was in losers, and you can still make it out of losers, but you got to beat a lot more people. So I got matched up with another guy, and this guy is like a known guy too. And I mean, if you look at the results, it's probably still on the Texas Showdown website. You can see I was in pool A7 for Street Fighter 5. Pretty sure that's what it was, A7. Let me look here on my phone right quick and make sure. Anyway, doesn't matter. I lost. The second match was against a Urian player, and I as soon as he picked Urian, I was like, okay, man, you ain't got. I told him, and you shouldn't do this, but I didn't give a damn. I wasn't there for Street Fighter, but I told him, hey, you good, man. You ain't got nothing to worry about. He was like, ah, man, don't say that. Don't say that. You gotta believe in yourself. Which is true. You know, I should have just kept silent. Keep your game face on. That's another tip I give you. Just keep your game face on. But I got bodied, which was no surprise, and I was out. That was it for my little Street Fighter tournament experience. So if they ever add Fei Long to the game and I start playing it seriously, then I'll try to really get good at the game. And I think I could do better than I did, because I almost beat the first guy actually. A couple rounds, I almost got him. I just wasn't ready for all the new updates, all the V trigger tools that I didn't know, and but it was cool. So I was like, okay, good. I got the first day under my belt, so I know what to expect during pools for Tekken. I knew how the process would work at that point, and I hung around and watched other people play to see what I might be up against, and day 2 rolls around. This is the important day, Tekken 7. I'm in pool H. I think wait, did I say A7 for Street Fighter? I might have been in pool A3 for Street Fighter, and I was in pool H7 for Tekken 7. And this is where I screwed up. I'm gonna tell you how I screwed up in general at the end when I sum it up. But I got matched up against the guy you see on screen right here, which is why, well, I'm gonna save it for the end. I'm gonna tell you where I made my mistakes at. I got matched up against Lars, and the guy was pretty good. I think he's kind of like a known guy in his area, at least, and maybe online. You can look online and see his name. I can't remember. It was somebody. I think it's Mocha. His name was Mocha. Yeah, a guy named Mocha. I think he is kind of known, at least in his area. And he beat me. And then I got in losers. I fought a guy. My next match was against a King player, and this guy was obviously just inexperienced. So that was it was actually a pretty easy win. I had Raven. All I did was hit him with down back 4, and I just swept him to death pretty much. And I was still alive. So I beat him, and then I got matched up against the only guy that I know of that recognized me. This guy was another Raven player. So I had a damn mirror match. I had a mirror match against him. He told me his name and I forgot it. He wanted me to add him on PSN. It's something underscore 94. From what I heard other people saying, I overheard the guy who beat me with Lars talking later. He said this guy ended up beating him too. The Raven player beat him and knocked him out. He says he's like a Byakuya or something rank on Tekken 7 with Raven. I could probably find his name if I search for it. Actually, I search for it now. But yeah, he beat me. It started off, and this is what, like, if I was really serious about this, I wouldn't have did what I did. But you know, I didn't think about it like that. This is like my first tournament. I'm trying to get, you know, see what it's like. The first match, and he won the first match anyway. It was Raven on Raven, and his button configurations were wrong, he said. So, and he still beat me. But after that match, he asked me if we could go back to the main character select so he could change his buttons. Now, any other professional player, 9 times out of 10 would have been like, hell no at that point. But it didn't really matter to me because I wanted to change my character anyway. I wanted to get Noctis. I didn't want to play the mirror match. I don't like mirror matching. So I got Noctis. He changed his button. It was all cool. And then I won the next match. So it's 1-1. I won with Noctis. And then the last fight, he wrecked me, and I was out. I got eliminated. So it didn't go like I hoped. I didn't stay in. I thought I would at least make it to top something. I thought I would get like top 48, top 32. I was fully prepared to get something like that, and I probably could have. But this is where I made my crucial mistakes. If you haven't figured it out by now. And this is where I messed up at. I did not warm up at all. And I'll tell you this, this was my mindset. I'm gonna go around, watch the competition play, you know, kind of see who I might need to worry about and what characters being used. And my game plan was I'm not gonna really play any casuals because I don't want anybody to kind of see who I use or get a feel for my play style. I'm gonna go in unknown. And that's another reason why, if you notice, I blocked all my Raven videos. I set them to private. I didn't want anybody to see my name and research me. You know, I guess I kind of overthought it because it hurt me. Because what I should have done was I should have went ahead and played casuals. Let me see if I can find that guy's name. Shooter King 94. That's him right there. That's who knocked me out. He's a Genbu rank right now. Shout out to you, Shooter King 94. You got a good Raven. I'm not knocking you. It's nothing against you, man. This was my mistakes. So if you're watching this video, he knew me. He said he used to watch my lay. So he was the only guy that you know, shouted me out. He's like, hey man, South Shiraz, I know you. But anyway, that's getting back to my mistakes. I should have played casuals. I should have done that for 2 reasons. I should have warmed up. I didn't warm up at all. I went in cold. And it was cold as hell in that lobby, by the way. If you ever go to Texas Showdown, bring a jacket. It was freezing. I was shaking and stuff not from nerves, but I was just cold as hell. I'm a skinny guy, so I was cold. But I did bring long sleeve shirts. I had long sleeve shirts on. Anyway, but the biggest thing is I should have played casual so I could get used to the setup, the equipment. I don't know if this applies to anybody else, but with me, I'm used to playing online, you know. So I'm used to playing in my house, on my TV, set up just the way I like it. So I got in there and, you know, it's a different size screen. It's a different monitor. It's just something with me. It might just be with me. I don't know if other people feel like this, but like my eyes need a little time to adjust to a different screen. So I should have played casuals to get used to how the equipment felt, what I would be looking at, how things would look on screen. I would definitely do that different. And another thing too, when I was playing, even though it was offline, the first match, the guy plugged the controller in for me and it's like, I'll help you pair up your controller. You know, don't let anybody do that. You know, just do everything yourself. I mean, nothing was wrong with that, but it ended up being a Bluetooth match, and I wanted to play wired on my controller, so he plugged it in for me and paired it and unplugged it, and I was like, okay, whatever. But I should have just plugged it in myself, you know, and play it wired. But regardless of that, you know, it was kind of weird because I guess I'm so used to playing offline. I was missing a lot of inputs, and some of that felt like it was due to, like, on that first match, felt like maybe Bluetooth lag because there's so many systems around and so many controllers, and I think that does happen. You get a little bit of Bluetooth lag. I noticed that before when I played in another little local tournament. Like, the buttons didn't respond the same way. You know, I don't know if it's because I'm farther away from the system and there's just so much Bluetooth going around or something like that. But besides that, just plug your stuff in, play wired, you know. And yeah, I should have warmed up. I should have got used to the equipment, got a feel for it. That was my first biggest thing I would do different. Second was, you know, just not being prepared. I went into it kind of lazy. I was like, surely nobody, I hope I don't get, it was a few characters I hoped I didn't get matched up against. The top three that come to my mind are Katarina, Master Raven, Lars, and that was actually like the biggest three characters I didn't want to face. And maybe Bears. And when my luck, first round, first opponent is a Lars. And a damn good Lars at that. So that was it. I didn't prepare for Lars. And before the tournament came up a couple weeks before, I was like, I should go and try to maybe learn Lars myself, because I was hoping I would run against him online, but nobody plays him. So I didn't have I don't have experience against him. That hurt me. Not knowing the matchups that I knew I was weak against hurt me. And Raven, I don't think I'm necessarily weak against Raven. I just know Raven can be hell to deal with, especially in a mirror match. And on top of that, when I was playing against the Raven, I was on the second player side. That's one thing I did do. I tried to prepare for second player side. I would play on second player side a lot. So that wasn't really the problem. I think it was just the lack of me not being warmed up. And then I was a little more nervous for the Tekken matches because I really cared about Tekken. I wanted to do good. I wanted to at least get one of my matches on stream. Oh, another thing is that you don't really get on a stream unless you win your pool. Or if you're like a known player, you're pretty much automatically going to be on stream if you're a known top player. But the only other way you get on stream is if you win, if it's like the final for your pool or something like that, or the final for the losers bracket. So I didn't even make it onto stage. So I was disappointed in that. I wanted to at least, you know, get on stage so y'all can say, "Oh, damn, South Shore Rise is at a tournament and he's on the stage." Didn't even get that far, so that was disappointing. So, but that's where I screwed up. I didn't warm up. I thought I was being this kind of secret weapon, and I played myself, and I just didn't prepare for matchups that I was afraid of, because I figured, what's the odds of running into a character like that in the first round or something like that? Like who's really gonna pick Lars, you know? And that was my first matchup, and I got destroyed. It was so bad that some people were standing behind me watching, and they were just like, "Oh man, that Raven is trash." I looked like I didn't know what the hell I was doing, because I don't know Lars at all. But the Raven that beat me, he beat the Lars, so he was more prepared, and I actually did better against him than I did against Lars. I beat him with Noctis one time. I mean, and Noctis is my secondary character, so maybe that's a matchup he didn't really know. Who knows what would happen if I was stuck with Raven? But anyway, that's how it went for me in the tournament, as far as the competition part. Other than that, you know, I stayed around and played casuals a lot after that. And in casuals, I was just beating people. Like, I beat one guy like 20 games in a row, and he kept playing me. Casuals was no problem. I was doing good in casuals, but nobody cares about casuals. You know, that's not what you're there for. I played a few people after that point, but it was too late. I got used to the way the way the controls felt on the monitor. I got used to the monitor size, and then, you know, it was just me trying to have some fun in casuals. Other than that, you know, Nothing else major happened. You know, I was just there watching the matches, watching the big guys play. The usual guys made it out. Uh, you can actually see me on the stream. I was sitting like in the front row. If anybody knows what I look like, I was there Saturday during the Tekken stream, and Friday night I was there doing some of the Street Fighter pools, sitting on the front row, right next to Yipes. But I went ahead on and left early Sunday morning because that was the grand final day, and there was really no point in hanging around. They probably would have did some more casuals, but I wanted to get back on the road. So that was my experience. I'm no longer just an online warrior. I've been to a tournament. Didn't do well. Do I plan on going back? Eventually, I probably will. And next time I'll be more prepared. I'm gonna try to learn all the characters that I have problems against, and maybe be at Texas Showdown next year. Maybe even go to final round, because my sister lives in that area. Might make that a trip to go see her and go to final round. But it was a cool experience. It's cool meeting so many people who are passionate about fighting games like you are, because around here the only person I know that really has started like getting hardcore with the fighting games is a FLP. We don't have a scene at all as far as I know in Louisiana, especially not in my city. So as far as the tournament world, South Share Rise has not solidified himself as a legit top player from what I showed. I have given reason for people to say that I'm just an online warrior. And that's not true. That's not true. I feel like I'm better than I ended up doing. But everybody says that, you know. I feel like if I would have prepared just a little more and warmed up a little better, I would have done better for sure. Anyway, I'll catch y'all in the next video. This was just to kind of tell y'all what I did and how I went. I'm about to get in this lobby and in this lab with Lars and just go on. And the only way I'm gonna learn how to beat this character is to play him. You know, the other characters I was ready for King. I was ready for Brian. I was ready for Jen. You know, I was ready for Oscar, Dragunov. I prepared for characters that I see the top guys use, and I got ahead of myself. You can't ignore anything, because I just automatically expected to be running up against some of the top guys, and it didn't go like that. So if you plan on attending and you're gonna be spending the kind of money to travel, don't cut any corners. Prepare. Do your warm-ups. You know, get your nerves in order, because you're gonna be nervous, but just prepare. If you got a character who beats you like every time, you're gonna have to go there and probably just learn that character, just so you have an idea of what to expect and how to do certain things against them. Because even though I play Raven, and that mirror match is something I hate, so all the time it's still not gonna really make you a beast like that, because I don't like the Raven match with Raven. I feel better in the Raven match with Noctis. That's just how it is sometimes. Anyway, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out. Tournament player South Share Rise. Getting back to work.